we go. So, welcome everybody.
Hello.
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 It's 8 Red Trees Tarot.
And the Soul Salon here again.
We are here to continue our journey through the tarot. So, some weeks back, we went through the entirety of the major arcana, and then we did a reading in between, which I really do have to post. I haven't put that up yet.
Oh, I haven't posted any of mine yet, so there we go.
Really, I'm really bad at this. It's so easy, and I just keep delaying it. So today's the day it has to get done. Maybe I'll even get this one up today, which would be amazing. So we talked about this, and then we did a reading in between, and then we thought it would be a good idea to complete the tarot decks.
Yes.
By going through each suit.
Yeah.
And discussing it.
Yeah. So we've decided to go with the wands this week, mainly because I always like, when I've done the majors, I always like to have the wands next.
Brilliant.
I must admit.
They're the energy, they're the movement, the fire.
And they're the inspiration and the ideas behind things. So I think for me, it works.
Makes sense to start there.
It makes sense to start there.
So what we're going to do, our plan is, hopefully this will work, is we're going to do a general overview with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because that's what we used for the major arcana. But as we start to talk about the cards individually, we do have 3 other decks that we're going to bring into play just to show you the different imagery on different decks, finding the similarities between them, but also how each, you're going to see different imagery, and it depends on what the artist wants. So I may even pull up the books.
Yeah, I've got the books for mine.
Have a little read of what the artists have said about them, because it was something that actually you said to me when I was doing a reading for myself, asking about names that had come to me, and you had said, when you do the reading, don't intuitively look at the cards initially, read what the author's idea was, because it separates me from my own
when you're
thinking.
doing it for yourself.
When you're doing it for yourself, yes, like
definitely.
when I'm doing my own reading.
I always do that because I think it's so easy to just put your own interpretation onto, what you want to hear.
Yeah.
We all do it. So
it kind of anchors you, doesn't it? Well, it's like having a second person in the room that's saying your head wants it to mean X, and then you read about what it's saying, and you actually go, okay, no. I maybe need to step out of my own egocentric view here and start thinking about it in a more wider view. So
shall we talk about first just the energy of the wands?
Yeah, so absolutely.
The fact that they are they are the thought, the ambition, inspiration. Spirit, really.
They're the spirit.
They're the spirit of things.
And they're the fire. So they're very much the yang. They're a yang energy.
They're active.
They're an active energy. They're very much a moving energy, a masculine energy. And so in the tarot, there are 4 suits. You've got wands, you've got cups, swords, and pentacles. And even though there is no definitive, the only one is linked to the other, they're obviously they all work in a nice flow. But for me, the counteract to the wands is the cups. Because the cups are the fire, the water, and the 2 elements. If they work nicely together, the fire stays in a usable way. The fire stays manageable. It's controlled. The water stays warm, so the water is usable as well. And the 2 things together are usable. Whereas if you separate them, the fire can then burn out of control and burn everything down, and the water can become cold, icy, contracted, deep. It can leak out of the cup and just go. Whereas if you put them together, even the water creates steam.
It does.
So the fire and the water together create a steam, which allows for so much movement and creativity.
Yes. I mean, the fire can create that movement with it, like when we boil water as well, with the bubbling of the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives it that.
It activates it.
It brings the passion to the emotion.
Yes.
When emotion is sort of calm, it can become stagnant almost, but the fire brings that sort of that bubbling up, but we don't want it to be too much. So it is about having that balance.
Well, I was reading one of the books I was reading the other day about it made I thought it was a really good distinction. Is she described the wands as being an energy, whereas the cups are an emotion.
Yes.
So passion because often we can confuse passion. You almost think of it as an emotion, don't you?
We think of, yes, passion, and
because you tend to link passion with love and this, whereas the idea here is passion is your drive. It's your movement to do, you're passionate about your hobby, and so it drives you to get up at 6 a.m. and go do your thing before work or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the cups are emotion. It's more of the,
so when we look at relationships, the ones are the passionate side of the relationship.
They drive the relationship.
Whereas the cups, it's the emotion, it's the love,
it's the coming together in the relationship. It's what bonds you, and then the passion is what, like, literally the fire. This is what it was, that 78 degrees of wisdom, and she was talking about this is in terms of, even the sayings that we have. It lit a fire under her. The fire went out in her. It's all about your zest for life, your oomph.
Is. And within a romantic relationship, it's that initial attraction, that one's energy that brings you together. And it's the cups that
makes you do your hair, and it makes you put on a nice frock, and it makes you clean up,
like cement it. But it's that initial attraction. And I think even with friendships, it's that initial spark, isn't it? That you have that. It's like those good times, you enjoy each other's company. And then you go into that cups energy where there's the emotional tie as well. And you become those friendships, those people that you can ring at 3 o'clock in the morning because you've got that. Whereas the one's energy brings you together, and you're the person that you go out together till 3 o'clock in the morning. But you have those good times, you have those conversations, you discover interests, together. Whereas the cup cements that as well.
So I do think it's important just to reiterate that, because I think certainly for me, I mean, I can only speak from my own experiences and the way my mind works. And we were just talking about this, having a roadmap. I often find that it can be very easy to confuse the energy of wands with the energy of cups, because emotion and passion in our colloquialism tend to get lumped in together, and they're actually separate in the tarot.
The other thing I think that confuses on wands and cups is there's two other things for me. One is the creative element, because both are creative, but wands, again, it's that ambition, that inspiration that drives us, that inspiration that brings those ideas to us. And the cups is the feeling into it, bringing those emotions to the creativity.
The sensation. In fact, it's this with Carl Jung's teaching, looking at the logos and the eros. So the logos is the masculine. The logos is codifying things, bringing it down to earth, making language to describe it, solidifying it. Whereas the eros is the female. So the eros is the high priestess, and the logos is the magician. The eros is the empress. The logos is the emperor. And the idea is the eros is we are the creators. I mean, women carry babies. We create the life within us. We carry that. We nurture it before it's substantial. It's like the idea of, so she described it as like the priestess's garden is full of hidden doors and hidden places, and it's not got straight lines in it. It's not got squares in it. Everything is circles in circles and circles, like Fibonacci numbers. Everything circles and circles. And every time you think you've got to the end of the path, there's another path there. And it's very much about throwing the bulbs everywhere in the garden and see what comes up. Whereas the logos, it would go, right, we're going to grow in this garden, and we know that we need to have these bloom in spring, and these bloom in summer, and these bloom in autumn, and that's when we need to go dormant, and everything would be brought into order. You'd have symmetry to it. You'd understand it. You'd see it in order. And I kind of see, in a lesser level, because these are more about the minutiae of life, this for me is the masculine of that. This is the energy. This is the wands, even though it's kind of a contradictory thing, because even though it's the energy, it's not yet made manifest. it's the driving energy that you get in the yang, not the cups. The yin is more introspective. You go inside more. You look at where your emotion is sending you. Whereas this is, I've got that spark. I'm going to put my runners on and go outside and run.
Yeah.
I've got that oomph. It's nuanced, but it is a definite separation of the two.
I think the other thing is when we talk about intuition, that very much links to the cups and the wands.
Yeah.
But again, I think because the wands are energy, they are almost
they're
spirit.
Always moving, aren't they?
It's that spirit.
Yeah.
So we're directly in conjunction, in connection with the spirit. So the wands, we are directly with that intuition.
Yeah.
And for the cups, because they're so much about feeling, again, it's that feeling, isn't it? So they both link to intuition, but in different ways. I think the ones are the direct connection, and the cups are the feeling into it. You know, the connection through feeling, through emotion. That way.
So there's sort of two sides of intuition. There's the active intuition that gives you, there's the spark intuition that makes you just go, do you know what it makes me think of? You know me and my Harry Potter. It makes me think of when he takes the luck, in the thing, he gives him the luck potion, and he takes it, and then he just goes there going, right, you need to go speak to thing, and he's like, I think I'm going to go down to the gardens. I'm going to go down to the greenhouses. And they're like, why are you going there? I don't know. It just feels right. And off he toddles, and he's smiling, and he's happy, and he's just jolly along. That to me is wands versus the emotion of the cups would be more about how it makes me, I'm thinking about this person. I'm writing love poems to them. You're more sedentary in the cups in my mind.
Yes.
You're sat there, you're feeling that sensation. It's poetic. Like when you listen to a song that makes you feel all emotive inside, and you're moving with it, and you're sensing it rather than it making you go, I want to go out and do something.
It's a bit like when you say about people who are songwriters, and you've got those people that have written songs because of heartbreak, and that's very much the cups, or because they fell in love.
Yes,
that's the cups.
Yeah,
the wands to me are those songwriters that have taken something and come up with these, come up with these really amazing songs, because not just through drugs, but also I think through those that have
altered
been really
states.
Whether it's states. Meditation and connection through that way, or whether it's a gateway through substances. But I think the wands is very much that energy, isn't it? It's like almost like that go into the divine.
Well, and people look for it. Like, I think people they can go on these holidays now where they go and take ayahuasca, and they do all these different things. And it's all about, for me, connecting to that wands energy, because I think the problem we come up against with the wands, the element of the wands, the fire, is that fire is absolutely elemental, but fire, you've got to control fire, and you have to. We've said this before, and I've said this many times in readings. This comes up a lot when I do readings. You have to nurture a fire. You can't just throw a bunch of sticks on the ground, throw some flame on it, and boom, you've got a fire. You can't, because when you watch these Darwin Award candidates on YouTube who pour gasoline on things and then all of a sudden their entire backyard is on fire. Do you know what I mean? You can't approach fire quickly, is what I'm saying. Fire has to be nurtured, because otherwise it will burn down you. It will be everyone around you. Yes. And so it's again, it's the contradiction of wands, in that the fire, because it's so active and moving, you'd think it's something that's going to go quickly, but actually it's not. It's really about, I've got the fire, I recognize the power of this fire, so we need to slowly build this fire. We cannot go pour some petrol on it and let's see what happens.
That's it. No, definitely. And I think that shows very much throughout through the journey through the minors.
Because really, and you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but in my understanding of wands, the 8 is the only one where you regularly come across explanations for it as being things start to move quickly now.
Yes.
Everything else
is
steady. You have to build it. You have to. If you took this wand that's reaching up to heaven and bringing down all that spiritual idea, and you lit that on fire, that would burn out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It would be gone. It would be done.
You've got to, and it's got to be channeled.
It's got to be channeled. It's got to be moved gently. And I think there's a maturity to working with the wands in that way when you work with your wand energy, because you're connecting to heaven. Yes. You're connecting to spirit. You need responsibility when you're doing that, because you're channeling through. You're asking the energy that is the entirety of the universe to channel through you, to spark your sexual energy and your svadhisthana, your creative energy. You can't do that willy-nilly. Like, there's a reason, and I've said this many times, there is a reason when you look at indigenous cultures that will use herbal like plants and frogs and all sorts to get that spiritual thing. They don't just go on a Friday night for a fancy and go, hey, let's go smoke some ayahuasca. Yeah. There's a whole
ritual, a ceremonial aspect to it.
And you build up to it. I mean, again, if anybody ever watches this who is from an indigenous culture and says, no, you don't know what you're talking about, please let us know.
We're using what we
understand.
What we understand. We're not trying to
say that's absolute, but my understanding has always been, certainly coming from Canada, where there's a strong First Nations culture, that if you went on a spirit journey, there was a whole build up to that. Yeah. You spent time training for it. You spent time understanding, learning about yourself, challenging yourself. There was a lot that went into it in, like you said, ritual before the actual event occurred.
It's not like going out on a Saturday night and taking a load of pills.
Yeah.
And then
I saw the angels.
Continuing to take a load of things. Yeah.
If you you can shortcut and have some amazing inspirational ideas, but there is always going to be an equal and opposite fallout. And the shorter the shortcut, the faster, like the more the hit that you get, the more the fallout is going to knock you sideways. So, and I think the wands is a lesson in
the
that.
wands is very much like that. I mean, they are, aren't they? It's that energy, and it does show throughout the deck how actually the lower numbers of the wands are more powerful, really, and more, because by the time we get to the end, to the 9 and the 10, we're a bit burnt out.
Yes.
So we start. Yeah. Shall we start with the ace and move?
Yes,
through?
Absolutely. So what we'll do then, it would be a good idea. Shall we move these? Well, what we'll do is, I thought if we just shift these out the way, if we pull them down
between.
If we do that and do that for now, and I'll move those over. So actually, I'll move these up here so that the ace is the one we're working with. So we've got, this is the Rider-Waite ace.
We've got the Light Seers here, and we've got the Wild Unknown.
And this one is the Alice in Wonderland Barbara Moore deck. And just to show people the difference in imagery, and when you look at it, it's quite interesting that the more modern decks uses red.
Yes.
Uses a lot of red, whereas the Rider-Waite Smith is much more traditional. And but the two tie for me, because I see the reds as being your Muladhara chakra, your root chakra, your earth chakra, your grounding. You've got the spark of the idea, but you've got to be grounded. This is showing the cleanness of it. It's pure. You've got white, the staff, all of them, the staffs are reaching up to heaven. You've got sunlight. I mean, I know that's candle, but it makes me think of sunlight, warmth, moving.
I mean, if we look at the traditional one, and that's what it's the Radiant Rider-Waite, isn't it?
Yes.
This one. It's very phallic, isn't it?
It is very phallic, actually. Yes, it is.
There is the school of thought that it does symbolize the ejaculation.
Yeah. Because that's what that
power
joins with the egg to make the baby, doesn't it? It makes sense.
And it's that burst, isn't it? The explosion of power. It is the ace is very much that short burst of energy.
Yeah.
And it's how are we going to control it? How are we going to direct it into what we want? I do like this because it's like within the mind.
Yes.
Within the
in the third eye.
How are we going to visualize what we want?
Yes.
How are we going to bring it to life? And it's got, these have got the fiery orange as well around it.
Yeah.
So it's not just the root, it's also the sacral, which is the passion, the sexuality, the creativity as well. So it really sort of blends those two chakras in particular. I think we could also add in elements of the solar plexus as well, because it's the power, the personal power that those elements that we're bringing into.
It's your bottom three chakras, isn't it? It's your rooting chakras. And this, I look at when I think of the wands, is always, it's wood. Traditionally, it's a wood staff, and for me that ties in between wood is the trees, wood is earth, but the trees reach up to heaven, so I see it as a connecting between earth and heaven. The wand is a conduit.
Yes,
it's pulling down through natural living flesh. It's living wood, because the trees last, trees are hundreds of years old, some are thousands of years old. Their roots they've got some trees that have root systems that talk to each other, they're connected all over the place, and they root deep inside the earth, and then they grow up to heaven, and they clean our air. Which for me is the wands again. It's air. It's the breath you take, and that you breathe in all of heaven all the time, because you take in everything that ever was with every breath, and then you exhale.
It's all that energy,
and so it's always moving.
It's that energetic.
And I think that's why for me the link to the woods and the trees is really important.
Yes, I mean, I was thinking about it last night as well, because like I was saying, I've actually made notes today. Not like last.
You did better than me.
Like last time when I was winging it. And we look at wands, don't we? And a magic wand.
Yes.
Or if we look at wands when within earth-based religions, and the use of a wand, it's the direction, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's the direction of power. But to me, in a fairy tale, the magic wand is something we use to cast a spell.
Yes.
It's magic.
It's magic.
And the wand's energy is magic.
And there is something in our society about a pointer stick.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid in school, you might remember
when we would just point a finger.
Yeah.
We just point a finger to emphasize a point.
A point. Whereas I remember the teachers, I had one teacher had a wooden pointer stick, and it had a little metal cap on the end. And so she would tap the board and tap and tap and tap, and you would get mesmerized by that wand, because there was, and it was a wand. There was power in that pointer stick. It really directed you to look at something and to be focused on it. And so I think there is a lot of symbolism in the idea of the wand, that of connection between you and the other, bringing the other to focus on what you want it to. And again, it ties in with the idea of that masculine logos, where you are harnessing that energy for what you want to use it for. You know what I mean? Your intention is in it. You are directing it, and it's got to be very specific in your direction, because if it's too wide, if it stays too wide, it's the air is just everywhere. Nothing is, it's like you have to corral it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what we start with this. It's that lovely little spark that makes you go, oh, I think I might.
Yeah.
That great feeling when you get an aha moment,
Like striking a match.
Like striking a match. Absolutely.
And it's a fact, isn't it, that you can light a candle from a match and light up the room, or you could toss it down and
burn the whole house down.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So what I'm thinking is,
if we move
those how about if I don't know if that will, yes, that is still in frame. So if we do that, and then I thought if I do that,
pop them all on top of
that and that,
and bring the two.
So there's down. The ace, and then we've got the twos.
I love the two. I love the 2 and the 3, and I think that they are quite similar, the 2 and the 3 of Wands.
Yes, they are. They are, because they work together.
They
the
do
2
work
and the 3.
together. But for me, the 2 is like the planning phase. Those where those dreams, where we're dreaming those dreams.
Yes. Well, for me, the 2 is the reaching out stage.
Yeah.
The 2 is, this for me is the dream. It's the spark. And then the 2 is when you go, could you help me?
Yeah. Or it's the dreaming them into reality almost.
Yes.
So we we thought about and we're still daydreaming, we're still visualizing, we're still making those plans
but
in our mind.
We're starting to make notes.
But we're starting to make actionable.
Yes. It's
intentions.
where you know what this would be?
We're aligning our actions to our.
If you want to bring it into really boring speak, it's a business plan.
Yeah.
It's a business plan. Yeah. It's when you sit down.
Planning the trip. I mean, I love this one. It's very much about where are we going to go.
Dreaming off.
She's got the globe. She's got the brochure with the picture of the camper van. And
she's dreaming. She's looking, wondering, imagining.
Out of the world.
Yeah. But she's imagining, but she's had the sense to get the map. Yeah. She's had the sense to draw the thing, to kind of go, let's start spinning that globe. Where would you, if you could go anywhere, where would you like to go? So here's the spark. I want to go traveling, I think. I want to break out from where I'm living. Yeah. So where can I go? And this is that stage. All of them. Watch Alice. Alice is looking off.
Out, yeah.
You know, he's holding the globe. He's looking into the distance.
I always think he's got the world in his hands.
Yes.
That's like the world's my oyster.
Yes,
what am I gonna
absolutely. Do? And this is the same here, I find, because you've got the red roses and you've got the white lilies. It's everything is here. The chessboard is empty. You haven't started moving pieces around, but you're on it. Yeah. You're standing there.
I mean, here we're not ready to go yet because we've got that little wall in front of us.
Yeah.
Now, whether that wall is the barrier, you could see it as a barrier to, we've not overcome what we need to move, or it's like containing us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. I like, because one of the wands, if you can see here in it, it's still held to the wall.
Yes.
So he's holding the idea wand is there.
Protection.
There's still a bit of protection. You haven't gotten quite ready to pull it off the wall yet and go, hey. And I always think of this being the stage of when you start, like for me, if I've got a new idea, like when we started talking about this, and it was kind of, what do you think you'd like to do? Would this be something you could do? It's all very, what do you think about? Maybe we could, but the feelers have started to go out. You've started to network a little bit and you've started to go, hey, and other people go, that's not a bad idea. I could bring this to the table. And you're like, hey, well, maybe. And you're in that phase where you're all going, hey, and it's a very hopeful phase. It's lovely. Is.
And it's, I mean, if we're reading like in a pippish way, if you like.
Yeah.
So we're reading that the wands is the inspiration and the creativity. And the 2s are about that balance. So we're bringing that dream, that that creative burst of energy
together.
We're balancing that with the plans, the action, what we're gonna do. Let's build the foundation so that we can really sort of direct that energy in the way we want.
And if you want to take it even a little bit more spiritual, non-tangible, I love that the artist has chosen to do the rainbow in the colors, because for me that's the chakras right down, that you've got the root all the way down to the crown chakra. This is traversing all of them. There is all possibilities are in this of bringing everything up through all parts of you. What are you going to do? What's going to spark you? But this is me getting deeper on it. The point is in the red. It's in the root, not the other way. No, the point isn't up at the crown chakra. It's in the root. It's saying you want the energy, but you've got to ground it. Yeah. And that's really, really important that you do that. So yeah, the 2s are, I do like the 2s. Yeah. Now, I should maybe know this, and I'm going to look it up unless you can answer the question. The symbolism of the roses. There'll be a symbolism for that.
There is a symbolism for it. And it's totally...
I can't think of it now.
I know with the Fool, because he's got the white rose, hasn't he? And that's very much about that innocence, isn't it? And that purity. And the rose, I think, it the white rose in the death card as well? Or
Yes.
is it a red
Yeah.
rose?
Yeah. No, there's a white rose in the death card.
But I mean, there will be the red rose symbolism, but I can't think of what it is.
Well, again, if anybody watches this and can give us some insight into the red roses, please do so. That would be really helpful. Because we could go on. I mean, I'm kind of moving us because you and I could talk about each card for absolutely hours. And because we've got all these to go through, I'm thinking it's a good idea
we don't want it to be like 2 hours long.
No.
Everybody thinking, oh my goodness.
Please be quiet. Just move on already. So this is my favorite card. Yeah. The 3-1 in this particular deck, in the Alice in Wonderland deck, I adore this card.
That's
because
lovely, isn't it?
For me, it's just full of gentle hope. It makes me think of going to a fair on a summer's day when there's flags flying around and colors everywhere, like you're at a fair, but the sea air is blowing and he's standing on the top and the sun is rising and you can feel the warmth and the ships are coming in.
The ships are coming in. Yes. You've got them in this as well, that the ships are coming in, but it's not quite. This is very sort of, they're very close, aren't they?
Yes.
And I think that really conveys the energy that actually now we're ready to make that trip.
This is the opening of the shop.
Yeah.
This is opening day.
Yeah.
You've lined everything up. You've talked to everybody. You've done, look at everything is equally drawn.
Yeah.
The points are all directions. And you've gone, do you know what?
From this one, we've contained the chakra colors, haven't we?
Yes.
We've contained
That's a very good point, actually.
Into this. And it's the growth, isn't it? The 3s are about growth.
Yeah.
But it's about containing it there because we don't want it to go off in all directions. We want it to be contained. And that's why the lower numbers of the ones work better with the energy.
It's still very clean. It's still very pure. You haven't come across much obstacles. You haven't come across much conflict yet. No. This is the beautiful time where everything is.
We are hopeful
and
we're
new.
Hopeful. Yeah. We're ready to take that step. We haven't got that sort of barrier anymore. We've moved forward. We're really ready.
It's like the first day of school when you've opened up your new uniform and you've taken it out the packaging and you put the new blouse on and the new skirt on and the new. For me, I wore a uniform with a tie and a cardigan and all this. So
and you've got your new pencil case.
Nothing had been broken yet. Yeah. Nothing had been written with. Your pages were blank.
And
your book bag was shiny. Yeah, all the ducks were in a row, and you had all this possibility of you trotted off in your shiny new shoes, and you hadn't scuffed them in the playground yet. Everything was really. You were like, this is lovely. It's beautiful, pure, clean.
We're growing
energy.
What we want to be.
Yes. Absolutely. And we're working with hopefulness here still. There's an innocent hopefulness.
There is an innocence to it, isn't there? It always reminds me a little bit of the Fool, that we're standing on the edge of something.
Yes. It is the edge of a precipice, isn't it? But a clean one. It's not a dangerous precipice. It's a hopeful precipice. Yeah. Everything around it is
planned
beautiful.
With the 2s, so we're ready to go. We've created that balance. We're ready to go.
Now, I think as we do this, I think we might have to just pile them like that.
We can do that. We can always unpile them if we want to. Are we going down now?
Yeah. So put those there. So then we move on. We're still in the hopeful stages here. We're moving on to the 4.
Love this card.
The 4 for me is fairy tale card.
It's celebration, isn't it?
It's celebration.
We've got to a point where we're celebrating. It could be something like a wedding. It always I always think of these as we've got to that point in the relationship where we're celebrating. We've come to a milestone.
Yes,
but it doesn't just have to be about relationships. It could be in any side, whether it's career, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a trip, whether it's a situation. We've come to somewhere where we're at a good point in this. The initial hard work's paid off, and we're allowing ourselves to celebrate.
We've had the opening weekend has gone by. It's gone really well. everybody's really pleased. You've sold stuff in your shop. You're feeling really good. So you've all got together. All of you that worked hard have got together to raise a glass.
That fire energy is stable.
It's stable. If you see here, it's stable. It's
expanded.
Yeah.
It's not being contained within this small area here,
moved out.
It's still contained.
It's equal.
It's expanded, but it's expanded in a controlled,
in a
healthy way.
The reason I like the Alice,
I love that one,
is because
I love the little house of cards at the back.
Exactly, because what it reminds me of though is it is a house of cards.
Yeah.
They don't look fully stable.
No.
That's your first iteration of your build.
She doesn't need to look at that.
She's not worried about that. She's looking here. She's really happy. And again, it's not a denigration of anything. It's a reminder that this is like your first draft.
Yeah.
You've done stuff. It's your first draft. You're feeling good, and you should. You've earned the right to go, wow, I'm really, really pleased.
I love this. It's like they're partying afterwards. You know what? It's like taking your exams and then going out and having a really good time afterwards.
Before you've got the results, you're like, it doesn't matter for the next however many weeks, I'm going to put it behind me and I'm just going to enjoy what I've achieved. But it is the awareness that you're enjoying what you achieved, but it is the first draft that you're enjoying.
Yeah.
And that
it's early on in the journey. It's
early on, but it's, again, I always find it such a pretty card. These early ones are again, full of hope. Full of prettiness, full of hope. There's a stability in the 4. This isn't a stagnation energy. This is a stability. This is, like I said, you've got through your first week at work, and now you're out having a drink to celebrate
because the Wands is such an active card. The stability lends itself well to the.
Yes, it does.
To it.
Yes,
to
it
the,
does.
You know.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, isn't it?
So we've moved on to 4. Yeah. Now we start getting into a bit of argy-bargy, but it's not vicious argy-bargy.
No,
it's not mean.
Isn't it?
It's handbags. It's competition.
It is.
It's competition, because whenever you look at these cards, they make me think of acrobats, and all of them are vying for attention.
Yeah.
You know, all of them are going, look at me, no, look at me, no, look at me.
It's that need to work together.
Yeah.
Everybody's working for their own means here.
Yes.
Whereas if we work as a team, we can find that fire here. You know, we can find that goal. We can achieve that goal by working as a team, not competing against one another.
Yeah. And I think it's also a time in your development when you will have conflicting things come up. You know, like if you bring it back to, say, running a shop or a business, you have to make some culling decisions. You know, you have to look and go, well, I wanted to do A, B, C, D, E, but it turns out I can't. And actually I have to let something go because I have to focus on it. So there's a kerfuffle. There's a vying for what you are going to, what serves you to go forward, and what is, because I look at that one here particularly, they're all standing on each other to reach. You need all of them, but some of them can fall away.
Yeah.
These 3 are balancing.
These fall away, these are all going to go with them. So
But I don't think they will, because I look at this, that these ones have climbed up. These things have risen to the, like, it's like the wheat from the chaff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see it as when one goes,
they all go, which is also true, isn't it? It is.
It's amazing what you see differently.
Yeah. Like this pickup sticks, when they're all jumbled and one pulling away can make everything fall. You need to be very careful of how you stack.
It's a bit like a game of Kaplunk, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it as well. I always just think that things, you have, for me, this is what drives your sense of competition. Like you're trying to juggle all the balls, and everything is vying for your attention, and you can't give everything your attention at once. So this card is about teaching you to prioritize. It's about teaching you to look at, it's not that you get rid of all parts of you, but maybe some of them need to be shelved for now, and maybe some need to be worked with, right?
Yeah. I always think as well, it's very much the fact that when you get to a certain level of success, be it in any field, you're always going to have the people that say, no, that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd have done it differently.
It's like on social media or where the trolls come out, because you're reaching a wider audience.
Yes.
You know, and the keyboard warriors are there, aren't they? That, you know, you've got the people that are jealous. Those, you know, they only see you being at the level of the 4, maybe they don't see the work that's the 1, 2 and 3 have brought into it. Then you'll get the naysayers that come out and say, well, you know,
or the people that think, and I think about this when I look back at going back to uni and in school days and everything else. I certainly think about it with when I went back to university, because I was an adult at this time. I was much more aware of my surroundings, and how in our first year we had all these ideas that we would throw at the lecturers. Like, why aren't you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it that way? Because we thought we knew best. And as the years went by and you got to graduation, you then looked back and went, oh, I see why they had to do it that way. But you knew that the new first years coming in were going to say the same things. And it's a lot of this. But
it's
you should be.
Interesting that it's the 5, isn't it? Whereas, like, we look at the 5 in the major arcana, which is the Hierophant, which is those beliefs that we're
are codified and set down,
but can also, you know, it doesn't just have to, you know, be about religion. It can be about education as well, isn't it? So, but it's challenging those ideals, isn't it?
And it's realizing that all those ideals that come up, I mean, we're in a Western country, so the Bible is a perfect example of this. The arguments that happen about the interpretations of the Bible. Because for every statement you make, you can find a contradiction in the Bible. And it's how do you manage that? How do you integrate that into a belief system that is both beneficial for you and those around you? What do you do with it when everybody's coming with each of their swords or wands and their sticks, and they're going, no, me, no, me, no, me. What are you going to do? How are you all going to go, okay, hang on a second here. We're making a lot of noise and we're not achieving anything. We need to bring some organization. So when you move again, we'll move into the 6. The wands go from being at 6s and 7s, higgledy piggledy, to straight up again. Not fully. There's still a little bit of wobble, but you're kind of going, look, guys, we cannot keep yelling. We're all talking at once, and nothing is happening.
Nothing's getting done.
We need to find a way through this. And that's why I think, for me, they use in the Alice deck, she uses the card soldiers, because they're always portrayed as being a bit dopey, a bit, they need guidance, you know? Right. I shall move this. So we've gone from that. We've gone from it being all higgledy-piggledy. We've had all our great stuff, and then everybody turned up and decided, based on your early success, they were going to tell you what the best way to go forward was. And so you had a lot of argy-bargy with them, got a lot of annoyance, and then you all went, okay, no, let's all face in the same direction.
See, I always see this card as we've won the battle. We've not necessarily won the war. It's those small victories. You know, it's the triumph. Next step, isn't it? We've gone through that challenge, and we're settled again.
You're coming into the next town. You know, you've won the battle in the last town. And now you're coming into the next town. You got 50 gajillion towns ahead of you, but you're marching in with the laurel wreath on your head, which signifies victory. You know, again, got the laurel wreath here.
This very much makes me think of it. I always think she's on stage. I always feel like she's a singer,
performer.
And she's performed. But you're only as good as your last concert.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's like, as a tarot reader, you're only as good as your last reading.
It's absolutely true. And again, in here, we've got the butterfly. The butterfly has gone through the pupal phase. It's successfully got out of its pupil. It's moved its wings. It's to out the light. There.
It's come out of that.
It's come out of that dark. It's moving up into the light. But it's an ephemeral thing, isn't it? A butterfly. It's very. I prefer flutterby, mind you. I like the old 18th century word. But the flutterbys they're soft. They're ephemeral. They're moving around. So it's a little win. It's an important win. It's a recognition that by working together, by finding common ground, you can all face in the same direction. And what I find interesting here is I like I really like that you've got the knight in the front, but everybody is they're wood bound. They're you know you're
there's a certain amount of stability.
There's a certain amount of stability
and
as
groundedness.
Yes.
We're grounded with it. We're not sort of like jumping up in the air and going, "Whoa, look at me!"
No.
You know, and
we're still corralling that energy. We had a little bit of a wibble.
We're taking it forward.
We're taking it forward. There's some growth here. There's a bit of maturity, you know, and that's really there's a stability still to the 6, which I quite like.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's a nice card, isn't it?
And then
it's always one of those cards that if you're asking a question and you get the 6 of Wands, you think it's a yes.
It's a yes card. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And now we move into a little bit of yes.
Now the 7s are that spiritual growth, aren't they? So we have to have the challenges that come up with the you know, especially I think with the 7s, it's especially with the Wands and the Swords because of that active energy.
Yes.
The 7s, we're called to sort of rise above it.
Yeah, you've become. If you look at this, he's quite a large figure, isn't he?
Yes, and but he's got the higher ground.
That's what I mean.
He's looking at that.
He's above and fighting.
He's gained perspective through, and probably through this battle with the 5. He's gained a new perspective. So when all those contenders to the throne come again, he's able to take the higher ground. He can see them coming as well. But he's got his ideas are broader because he's got that perspective. He's learned those lessons. He's got that life experience. So he's able to stand there, and he's actually got something to defend himself with against them, and he's higher up. He's got the higher ground, if you like.
But do you know what I think? It also, if you listen to all the words you've just used, and I think this is a cautionary card for me as well, because you're right. He's got the higher ground. He's stable. He can look out. He can see who's coming. He's got something to defend himself. He's maybe needs to be careful. He hasn't got lost in fighting.
Yes.
That fighting has taken over. He's now looking for opponents.
Yeah.
Because this card makes me think of that, because whereas this one has a lot of clarity, it's got, and here as well, look at the calmness at her. She's, even though she's sitting on top of the wands and they look like spikes, she's very calm.
Yeah, you know? she's taken the moral higher ground. She's taken the
moral higher ground. She's not getting lost in battles.
She's not taking, it's like, that's not my circus, that's not my monkey.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I know what I believe. It's all the, you know, love and light, and I know what I believe. She is in like that protective bubble, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
And we've got the light at the solar plexus here, which is like that inner power. You know that,
and it's also the solar plexus is how you emote with the world around
but
you.
But she's not defending herself because she's not got her hands over her solar plexus, so she's not defending. She's got them over her heart. She's got them over the heart, but it's more in a you know, in that prayer stance that it. You know, I'm looking to that higher power again.
It's the prayer mudra. It's the one that says, I'm here for my higher spiritual connection. The heart houses the mind. The heart helps you connect to the higher self. And so she's rising above the pettiness.
Like it as well. Yeah. You know, we've got that we're using that light to light the way. We're not using it to get into battles. We're going to light our own way forward. I think these two cards are very different actually to this
one. The reason I like this one is because this makes me think of a whirlwind. There's a chaos. Everything, she's had to climb up on that table. Everything's gone into chaos. She is fighting from below and she's holding up, but she's a warrior here. Look at her face. She isn't afraid. She's like, come on, bring it on. Let's go. Let's have a fight.
She's still got the energy to do that.
She's still got the energy to do that. And I think it's these two really show the two sides of what the wand energy is in the 7s. That you like, what is the saying? I'm at 6s and 7s. You have to be careful that you don't start, because you've had some battles, because you've had some people again, you don't get, and because you've won one, that you don't get big-headed and start looking for fights everywhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't start taking that powerful energy.
It is a pick your battles kind of
It's a pick your battles. And I think this is a reminder of, do you go egoic? Do you start thinking, I know, I knew it here, so I always know. And so you start becoming argumentative and obstreperous and you pull obstacles. Or do you go this way, where you think to yourself, I can win battles, but I can't win all of them. And the biggest battle is within me.
It's the illumination, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Of the sevens. I mean, this in particular, the illumination, the higher, you know, having the higher ground, the perspective.
Yes.
How are we going to work with the wand energy to avoid burning ourselves out, because we are at that point now where we can easily burn out. We can lose the power.
Absolutely. So you have to know, and I think this is very much also,
especially before we get to the 8th, where we're going to direct that energy.
Absolutely.
And it's going to go full force.
It's going to move.
So I think
so do you go forth with ego, thinking you know everything, in which case you're going to take on too much? Or do you go forward with the understanding that I still have to work to corral my own energy, and that the battles are not external? See, here the battles feel external, here the battles feel internal. And I think that's two sides of that card to look at. Where is your battle?
Yeah.
What is it you're fighting? Are you allowing your energy now to become too egotistical, or are you recognizing that you're really pleased? You're going to take the knowledge from the win here and you're going to use it in an enlightened way. Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a lot in the 7 of really looking at which way are we going here.
I think people find the 7 in the Rider-Waite and the 9 quite confusing sometimes, because
they look like really sweet, happy, bright cards.
Yeah, but there's they both have that defensive energy, if you like. Do. Yeah. So, but I mean, we'll move on to that in a minute when we get to the 9. But I think the 2 and 3 get confused, and the 7 and 9 very often get confused.
But because again, this is the nuances of our inner self and our more mundane life work. So you're going to have nuance like that. You're going to have things that have a very slight difference in them, but not a lot, and can get a bit intertwined.
And sometimes we're just a bit further down the road. And with, I mean, the 8, it's energy, isn't it?
It's all. I was going to say,
the direction of energy. We're traveling, aren't we?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean to say it's a physical journey, but we're traveling in a direction. It's almost like we need to make a decision, because that energy is going to go one way or the other. So are we going to focus on what we want and let it and direct it that way, or are we just going to chuck it and hope for the best?
Do you notice this is the first set of cards in the whole
I think it's the only one.
People.
I think it's the only card that there's no people in the Rider-Waite.
No, in any of these. There is no people in any of these. There is no human, animal, mineral. It is.
I think it is the only card in the deck
that's like that.
That's like that.
It's interesting, that, isn't it?
And
because
it's
pure energy. You've built up. You've got your combative energy, which can either lift you to heights, or it can turn you into a bully and a know-it-all. And which way are you going to go? There's so much power. I mean, all of the fire is all being put. You know what this makes me think of? In traditional Chinese medicine, there's a technique when you're needling somebody called surround the dragon. So when I've done that on you, where you've got that knot or you've got that area of injury. And I find it so effective. I'll put like 4 or 5 needles. I always do 4 at least, because I want the 4 directions. But sometimes I'll do 5, sometimes I'll do 6, depending on what the energy feels like. And it's directing everything. The chi is being pulled into that specific area. And it's incredibly powerful. And this is the same, because this makes me think of almost a lightning strike.
Yes.
You know, everything is pointed in. And from here, you've powered the lightning up. And that's
the cards energy. The 8s, are very much about direction, aren't they? And because in the cups she's walking away, isn't she? She's
Yes.
walking away from something, and in the sword, she's stuck.
Yes.
But she's not really stuck.
No, it's her own. Yeah. Yeah.
And then in the pentacles, we've got that where you've
harvested.
No, you're grafting. You're perfecting your craft. It's the guy with that's sitting.
Yes, it is. So I'm thinking, is it the sevens
seven,
or the sevens or the grafting? Yes, you're right. That's right.
So it's the 8. He's directing his attention and his energy on perfecting, to working towards what they want. In the 8 of Wands, that direction is just pure energy.
Yeah.
Pure energy.
Yeah. And it's the danger of what you're probably going to find is it's too easy. It's very easy to take on too much here because you're full of energy. You can take on the world here. You feel like you're standing on the world there. You feel like the world is not only your oyster, it's your play ball, and you can do it all. And so it's a little, again, I find the 7 and the 8 are a little bit of a warning card.
Yes.
That you need to be aware of what you're doing with all that energy. I think there's a tendency with it when we talk about energy, people either dismiss it or they treat it as something because they don't see it as tangible. They don't see it as having any weight to it.
They don't see it.
And the 8 is a warning that there is great weight to churning up energy. It's like when you start doing like microcosmic orbit meditations or you're working with Kundalini energy. If you just launch yourself into it and you start pulling up that energy with no way of corralling that and understanding it, it's going to probably overpower you. And that's what we're getting to kind of in the 9s. And certainly when we come into the 10s, I think I always get the feeling like when you look here, he's tired, man. He's got a bandage around his head.
And very often, I don't know if you can see it, very often you see that his clothes are a bit torn.
Yeah.
But he's taken that wand and the same in this one and the same and they're still using it to defend what they've created, or they're using it as a staff to guide them forward.
Yeah.
It's very...
See, I see him, they're leaning on this for me. I look at both their stances. They've had the battle. They're tired now.
They're nearly there. Yeah. We're nearly at that phase of completion. Like here with the staircase, we can go up the staircase, but it's got all these twigs and thorns and whatever on it. We've got to be careful about how we maneuver ourselves up the staircase.
And we walk with our wounds. I think we've gathered a lot of wounds here. You've gathered a lot of, like, if you think about energy in terms of what it can create within you, we've created a lot of little whirlwinds that maybe we haven't dealt with, that maybe are some are okay, some aren't so okay. There's a lot, and you're battle weary here. You're tired. You know, you're kind of. He's like, when I look at him here, legs are spread. He's holding. He's almost leaning on that staff, and it makes me think of somebody who's. You've been digging with your shovel and you're digging. You've used up your energy. Yeah. And you now finish that hole. And so you put the shovel down and you're leaning on it and you're catching your breath. Your hands are sore. They're calloused. They're bleeding. Everything you've achieved. Yeah. It's not without achievement because you dug that hole you needed to dig. Yeah. You've achieved, but that's taken a cost.
It's taken a toll on your energy.
Absolutely. On the self.
And on reflection, it's also that, you know, maybe you just need to take it steady now. Yeah. You know, that these ones are now parked.
But they're sprouting.
Yeah, they're sprouting.
Like I look, they're sprouting. There's growth. That you have done something. Yeah, you fought off the slugs. You fought off the bugs. You fought off the weather.
Say we've planted all these things that we've wanted. We've just got that one more to plant, and
yeah, absolutely. But you are tired here. Yeah. I find that the 9 and the 10 for me, you've used up a lot, and you need to be very careful. Again, like this was telling you, you were getting to a zenith here.
Should we bring the 10 in?
Bring the 10 in. Yeah, absolutely. Move that there.
I think they're quite. It almost serves as a warning, doesn't it? Because when we get to the 10 is about we've taken on too much.
Yes.
And how are we going to carry everything that we've taken on? I mean, I think this depicts it really well, because he's got all these wands, and that's really not the easiest way to carry them, is it?
No, it
all?
isn't. No.
So, you know,
he's achieved so much.
He's achieved so much. So do we share it with somebody? Do we share the load with somebody? I mean, this is very much about being clever about how we how we move forward with everything that we've
got. But again, you're loaded down.
You're loaded
and
down.
Do you need all of this? Maybe this is a time to step back and unpack everything for a little bit here, and let's see what we can get rid of.
Yeah, because on this one we've got so much that we can't see.
It's
whether, you know, to me that's like being in the undergrowth, and everything's been so overgrown.
Can't see the forest for the trees.
Can't see the forest for the trees, because there's light there, but we can't really
get
see
to
it because it's being blocked out.
And this set of cards, when we look through them, how they got darker in color as you progress through the tens, because you're exhausting yourself. And for me, the entirety of the journey of the ace to the tens is a reminder of why you must constantly reset. You must nourish your energy. You must protect your energy, because if you expand, wow, because I get the feeling from here, there wasn't enough of a recoup of energy before you launched into the battles here and here. You went, I did this so I can create even more energy. I can bring more on. Not to be
overwhelmed by it. It's a bit like when your house needs decluttering. And it feels claustrophobic, and you feel you can't see all the things that you've got because there's so much. But it also has that impact on the energy as well, doesn't it? In your house,
it makes it chaotic.
Yes,
and when it's chaotic, it's exhausting.
So when we declutter, and that's like an energetic declutter as well for our lives. But using our houses as a symbolism of it. You know, when we declutter, we discover things that we'd forgotten we'd got, and we can use everything because we can get to it again, and the house feels bigger, it feels spacious, it feels we want to be in it. There's fresh air. It's relaxing because everything's calm again.
Absolutely.
So it's very much about decluttering that energy around you. What can you let go of? Which of these ones can you set down now? Oh, I've covered my microphone.
Covered your mic up there.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just thinking there might be some funny noises going on in there, and that's all it is. Because that makes me think of this, is when I look at this card, I think, do you need to take all of those in one journey? You've strapped those to your back, you've got that in, you pushing the wheelbarrow. Same with here, she's got the ox in, there's her, they're all loaded down. Do you need to? Does that all have to go now? Can you leave some? Can you go back in little trips? Can you know what I mean? Why are you carrying all the staffs all at once to that place? For what reason are you doing that? You don't need to. And it's that reminder that we think we can do everything, but you can't do everything.
I'm going to move that because I'm just going to keep doing that, aren't I? By putting my jacket back over my shoulder.
That's an idea.
There you go. So hang it on my necklace.
So then we come to we come to the culmination of the lesson in the wands is when you're working with pure energy, you have to respect it. You have to respect the fire energy, because otherwise, even in success, you can end up with too much, where you then feel trapped by it all. Like you were just saying about a house, you have a house with too much in it. You can't move around it easy. You don't know where anything is. You're always searching, and you're using more energy instead of going, I know that's in that drawer because that drawer only has 4 things in it. We're like, right, I think it might be in that drawer. I can't even open the drawer.
Because it's full of stuff.
This is it.
It's full of like cables and charges for things that you don't even have anymore. So it's like those.
Absolutely.
Again, it's the energy.
So it's respecting the energy. It's respecting that if you want to keep that pureness, while it has to be molded and tempered and changed, it's inevitable. It's evolution. It's how you evolve. It's a lesson in, if you're not careful, when you start getting some success, it's easy to overdo it because you think that's the end of the journey now. I've made it. And it's not, it's a ladder, it's steps. You will keep going. And if you're going to get up to the moon, which is a hell of a climb, you need to be taking your time with it.
So, and it's very much a lesson for, because I'm assuming that people who watch this have an interest in becoming a reader, even if it's just for themselves and perhaps loved ones. It's that how you must respect your own energy.
Yes.
And energetic hygiene and energetic self-care.
Energetic hygiene. I like that. That's a really good term.
It's like the grounding and protecting your own energy.
Yeah.
And not taking on too many readings. I mean, I've done readings where I've done like goodness knows how many at an event and taken like half an hour in the middle of it, and that's been it, and I've gone out and I'm absolutely you know, it's almost like being drunk, because your energy is squiffed with everybody else's, I suppose. And
well, again, it's respecting that just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And that when you feel it, it's that cored out feeling. I get it in my solar plexus, where it feels empty. It feels like somebody's taken an apple core and done that coring thing, you know, where they twist it and pull out the middle, and I'm just emptying it. And I used to think I was hungry, so I'd be like, oh, I'll just eat. But it's got nothing to do with that. It's an energetic emptiness that came. I couldn't have told you where it came from. I mean, there wasn't anything tangible other than I'd done a lot of energy work successively, one after the other after the other, and I won't do that now. That's another reason I've become really
we have to be really
what, if I pull them up there,
I was just thinking we could put all of them underneath it, and then we can work through, because I think the suits very much go why don't we put, will they fit there, and then you can put the bigger ones underneath.
Below it.
So these the Wild Unknown, that instead of Page, Knight, Queen and King, they have daughter, son,
mother, father. I like that.
Yeah, and I always, because people get really mixed up with the court cards. Now, I think one of the really good books I read where it covered the court cards, it's called WTF Tarot, which obviously stands for What the Fluff is Tarot. And I can't remember who wrote it, but the way she describes it is really good. She describes them as like a family with with those interactions. But I think it's knowing that, isn't it? It's knowing whether they're an energetic representation or whether they're a person within your life.
I see it as you're either are you talking about your inner? Is this your inner archetypes? Or is this actually a person? And do you know what? In a way, does it matter? I think
it's going on what you feel with, and how it sits within the reading as well.
Absolutely.
So the Page is obviously like the innocent, isn't it? They're just starting out on that journey. They're enthusiastic, but they don't necessarily have the experience of when we get to the queens and the kings.
I see them as like a child. When a child comes running in with something they've discovered. So that hence the messenger idea behind it.
They are the
messengers. So they come in, they've discovered a bug. And they've got this really cool little caterpillar, and they come running in, Mom, look what I've got, look at what I've got. And then they run into their teenage sibling who goes, what's that? What you got there? Oh, that's silly. You know what you need to do with it? You need to go out, and they
really know it all.
They know it all. They charge off. They're like, oh, no, you don't want to play with that caterpillar. I'll show you where there's some real caterpillars. You need to come with me, and I'll show you, and I know. And they charge off the knights. They go, like, I was reading again, and she was describing how here the salamanders in the cloak are closed. They're still complete. Here they're open,
and then when
we get up to here, they're closed again. They've come full circle, and they're contained. They understand themselves. Whereas here, the knight has opened that energy, he's taken the childhood energy, but doesn't really know what they're doing.
And with it being ones that fire energy, the knights in particular really can go off course.
Yes, so very much. Hence the reason I like the idea that it's a lion there. Yeah. It's that youth, that Leo energy.
Because the page is the earth energy, isn't it? So it's grounding that fire energy.
You're still a kid. Yeah. You know, you still got the innocence.
You're excited about the world. You've got that ambition that, you know what you want to do.
But you're open to suggestion with this energy.
It's like being a child and saying, I want to be a nurse or I want to be a doctor, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, you know, it might not be something you carry through, but at that time it's
all possibilities. I'm gonna be a tree, you know. Yeah, all possibilities are open.
I see her very much as being the pages, but her in particular, it's like a student. So I'm gonna throw things up in the air and see what I catch, and it's exciting, isn't it? It's really sort of exciting. It's like going off to university and having that freedom for the first
time. So you've got the innocence when you first drive up to the university, and she's been there a year.
And she's a bit cocky
and she's
now.
a bit cocky now.
I'm not the new one anymore. We're not the youngest. We know where everything is. We know where all the good pubs and clubs are.
Absolutely. And we're constantly charging. Like I look here, it's interesting. You've got the lion and the horse. Two creatures that are speed. They're fast. They move. You know what I mean?
It's not very well. Look at the horse. It's not very well under control.
No, it's not.
You know,
no,
he might be going fast.
Yeah. And he's not paying any attention. He's just happy he's astride the horse because he's look at my pretty outfit.
In fact, he might be going backwards.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, actually,
when
in
you
a way, they are because look at
he's going back towards the
pyramids. He's moving
and it's
out.
the immaturity, isn't it, with the night? You know that they think they know it all, but actually they don't.
But they don't. They got a little bit of success, and now they think that sets them up for everything. There's nothing you can teach them now.
I mean, the Knight of Wands is very much Lothario, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like love them and leave them, and say it's like, you know, getting that next fix, if you like, that next burst of
chase
passion.
That next the next chase. I don't want the groundedness of catching it.
It's untethered.
I want to chase it. Yes,
it's very much this in the background. I was
wild stallion.
You know, and it's marching to the beat of your own drum, and nobody's gonna tell me what to do.
Yes,
I find that very much with the Knight of Wands. Now the knights tradition in a lot of decks, the knights are depicted as the air energy, but there are the occasional decks that you'll find. I think the Llewellyn Tarot, which is one where actually it is raining, isn't it? Where the knights are fire and the kings are air.
Oh, okay.
And they've changed it round, which I can see the logic because you know the kings that logical, but for like the Rider-Waite and for most of them, the knights are actually you know, that air energy.
Oh well.
My washing's going to be
my washing.
Well.
That's yes. The rain has come in here.
Then we've got the Queen. So she's really nurturing that. She's very intuitive, the Queen of Wands.
Yes.
So she's taking that intuitive energy and she's using it not just for her own benefit, which I think is very much shown here. Yeah. She's using it to light the way for everybody else as well.
Yeah.
It's like she's the mama bear. You know, she'll fight for her children.
She makes me think because both the black cats in these two, where it's the familiar with the witch is the thing, and
one there as
and
well.
I like it. Oh, there is one there. Yeah. Yes, I couldn't see that very well.
It's very.
She is. I think of her as the witch in the woods.
She's the witch in the woods.
You know what I mean? She's the one that you go to. She would be the sister with the Witch of Pentacles.
Yes.
They would be in the wood. The Pentacle Witch would be doing the gardening, and she would be sitting there poring over the books and deciding what they were going to do next. Do you know what I mean? She's the she doesn't need to explain herself anymore. She's like, I am who I am.
Yeah.
But she corrals it. Like everything about it. And in fact, it was described is of all the queens, of all the queen cards, she sits with her legs apart because she's comfortable in her sexuality.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to do this demure, sit to the side, hide away.
She's not pretending, is she?
She's not pretending. She's like, look, I am here. I am a woman. I grow, you know, I'm yellow, I'm fire, I've got needs, I've got desires, but I'm not full of my own crap anymore.
Yeah,
I understand. I've been molded enough to know what my limitations are and how to work within things.
Yes, and I think with the Queen of Wands as well, because we're bringing the water element with the Queens, so we're bringing that emotional side to it as well. So we've got the passion, but it's mixed with the need for something more than just pure sexual desire or pure ambition. It's got to be fulfilling, I think, is what we see with the Queens. It's got to be fulfilling for us. It can't just be like the Knights where it's, you know, it's
in
about
the moment.
It's in the moment. It's about how it feels now.
The
Queens, it's, you know,
you look at, because she's got the sunflowers, they take an awful long time to grow.
Yeah.
They grow very tall. They're beautiful. They provide sunflower oil. They provide food for us, but they take a long time to grow. And she understands that. She understands
the importance
of it, that it is not going to come up overnight. It's going to take time to grow.
It's like here, she's contained. There's a lot of fire energy around her, but it's
all
contained.
in little things. It's all contained. Yeah. She's recognized, I'd rather have lots of fire pots going than have one massive bonfire.
Which is going to be like, you know, I'm going to singe my eyebrows by now.
Absolutely.
And the snake here, the fact that it's coiled here. So we've got, you know, we've started to open up again, haven't we?
Yeah. She's gone, you know what? I'm protecting my eggs.
Yeah.
I'm protecting, I'm curled around. I don't need to be on point all the time. I don't need to show you that. I've got nothing to prove with you. I've grown from the tiny little snake. I've now grown into this, but I'm around my eggs, and we've got color, but it's very red grounded color here. She's like, I am the mother and I am steady.
And here with the night, you know, the tongue's out, it's hissing at something, but we don't know what it's hissing at. Whereas here it's hissing, but it's because of this lightning strike. It's that, you know, what
there's a reason.
There's a reason. So, you know, the kings are fire on fire, but they have the maturity to not burn out. They have the maturity to not pick fights for the sake of picking fights. I always see the King of Wands as being that person that will stand up for you. It's got to be.
But he will stand up for you. But I always think with the King of Wands, like here, he's also a little bit of a showman goofball.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't necessarily rely on him to always stand up for you. He is moving energy. So he's here and he'll be there for you to a point.
Yes, and he's very charismatic.
He's very charismatic. So if you're asking him to be the King of Pentacles energy, where he'll sit with you, he'll put, and you know, you're not going to get that. If you travel off and come back again, he may have moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the Pentacle King, he's still there.
Yeah.
He's still there doing the same thing. Oh, I always think of the Pentacle King as the farmer. The ultimate farmer. He's still looking after his flock. He's still looking after his herd.
Or the master businessman.
Or the master business. He's there. Whereas this guy, this is the entrepreneurial spirit. He's done it. He's created it, but he's already looking at his next adventure.
Well, this is a difference, and this is another thing that people get mixed up with the Wands and the Pentacles about career and jobs. So the Wand is the ambition, the excitement, the inspiration behind things, and the Pentacles is like that Eight of Pentacles card where we get down to the hard graft.
Yeah.
And we
hone our skills.
Yeah,
we become master builders.
Yeah.
But once we're master builders, we stay master builders. We don't go, oh, I've achieved being a master builder. I now want to go and be a master mason. You're like, no, this is what I do, and I find the joy in the discipline of doing it. Whereas this, the joy is in the creation and getting to a
it's
to
like
a point.
The career versus the job or the vocation.
He's launched the boat. He's not interested in sailing the boat. He's created it. He built it. He launched it. He watched it go off. He maybe did the first cruise. But once he's done the first cruise and he's had the enjoyment of his achievement, he's now going, I've done that.
I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about like when you've got a CEO and they don't have to be sort of really knowledgeable about the actual
nuts and bolts.
Yeah, and what the business is, you know, like if it's I don't know about fuel, or they can move from being the CEO of a fuel company to being the CEO of a pharmaceutical company. It's actually about
transferable skills.
It's the transferable skills. You don't have to know about your product. That's the word I'm looking for. You don't necessarily have to know about your product, which I think is very much King of Wands energy. You are the CEO rather than this person that's necessarily knowledgeable about that industry.
You shake it up. You come in and you go into that business and you shake it up and you go, right, everybody can't, again, you can't see the forest for the trees here. You're all stuck in it. Your energy's getting wasted. You know, you're just going round and round in circles. I'm here to break you out of that. But the flip side, and there is always a flip side to everything, the danger of that is that you see this with the problem now with these tech billionaire CEOs, because they were very good in areas of technical development, and because they've achieved great things in it, they now believe that they have got the knowledge and the understanding to put that into anything. That they can run anything, put their hand at anything, and it will be a success.
And the advisors that know about that industry are sort of brushed aside, and they bring their own advisors in who just know about the tech and the business side of things. They don't necessarily know about that business in particular, and this is where things then start to unravel.
Because
we need the groundedness, don't we, of those people that have worked within that industry for a long time, and
because we've all experienced this. What you write down on paper is not how it will translate into reality on the ground. I don't care how well thought out your plan is. I don't care how many obstacles you think you have covered. I guarantee you something will come out of the blue that you didn't expect that will absolutely upend everything. It's like the ant upending the building. You know what I mean? How could something so small, but because that's connected to that, connected to that, connected to that.
It's that ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. And the King of Wands doesn't want it. He's not interested in that. He's not interested in minutia, in day-to-day details. He's the ideas guy. He's charged off with it. Whereas she's a bit like this, but she's more, I find the Queen is more grounded. The danger of the Queen is that she can become really jealous and twisted. She can become bitter and like, I hate using this term, and I know we shouldn't use this term anymore, but she's the Karen. She's the ultimate Karen. And I know I have a lovely friend named Karen. I really shouldn't use that kind of terminology, but it's become such a colloquialism that she's the one I want to speak to your manager. She can turn into that if her energy is not corralled correctly. And this is the frat kid. This is the sorority girl or the frat boy who, you know, the preppy kid whose mom and dad got them into school and have connections, and they never really have to work for anything because doors are always open. You have to watch that, because that is the danger of not corralling the energy and not understanding that the Wands is wonderful, but it has to be tempered by the other suits.
Of course it does,
has to be tempered, because without it, you turn into a bit of a dick. And
you're not living in the real world with the Wands.
No, the Wands can be can become very myopic and very isolated in their thinking, where it like cult leaderish. You know, you follow me or you get out. And they can fall into that. So that's always the warning in Wands.
They can become the victims of their own success. So it does need to be tempered.
That was really good. And do you know what? I'm really glad. Talk about, again, not just following the energy takes you to places, because when you came, we had not pre-organized what card decks we would choose.
No, they were just the decks that I got in my bag.
But the color scheme and the imagery absolutely complements each other.
We'll have to use those now for all the other ones that we do.
We will.
That it's
we will.
Consistent.
But it looks... Yeah, I like it. The colors are all really blending, and it looks really, I like this. This would be a great way to read. These are really good. This mix, there's a good mix of energy in these cards.
I like it.
Anyway.
Well, thank you everybody who's got to the end again.
Well done. Thank you for listening, and we're really grateful that you've come along. And if you feel like you'd like to, we'd love it if you would like this video and subscribe to our channel.
And maybe share it.
And
Tell
maybe
people
share
about
it.
us.
I'm going to open these to comments now. So people who have any thoughts on this, please give us your comments if you want to.
I will start my channel.
And you need to start your channel. And actually, I really need to get to grips with how I put more links in, like linking to the decks and linking to the books that we talk about. And I think that's really important if people want to delve into things. So I need to figure out how to do that because I'm still... Yeah.
But thank you.
But thank you, everybody. And we will see you again next time with... Which deck we're going to do next time?
Which suit?
Suit, rather.
Cups.
Cups. We will see you next time with the cups.
See you then.
Take
Bye-bye
care.
for now.
Bye-bye for now.